Hi guys, welcome to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Please, if you are new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. We do everything City, past and present here on these little vlogs, so I do try and inform and entertain, and there's some links on screen as well for Facebook and Twitter where I do post loads of City stuff. So if you follow and friend me on there, I do check every few days and follow and friend everyone back. And if you do get a chance, please have a check out my film and TV channel as well, which I try and inform and entertain on there, and all the latest films and TV drama here in the UK and from around the world. So if you can check that out, that will be fantastic. Anyway, hope you enjoy today's feature. Right, today we're going to go back to the 3rd of October 1998 with the History Boys feature. A game of Manchester City versus Burnley. Yeah, both in Nationwide Division 2, eh? Who'd have thunk it? But there you go, back in 1998. What a time to be alive. It certainly was. If you're watching this and you weren't around in 1998, very possible. But yeah, the Ford company, here we go, just a little bit of trivia for you, had released the new Focus range, replacing the Cortina, the old Ford Cortina. If you had £41,320, you would have been able to buy Jerry Halliwell's Union flag dress at auction. Yes, the old Spice Girls, if you've ever heard of them. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sure you've heard of him. He was born on the 7th of October 1998. And on this day, the 3rd of October 1998, people as old as me and perhaps a little bit younger would remember the actor Roddy McDowall. Yeah, he sadly passed away. And as far as music's concerned, I have no idea who this was. I must have missed this one along the line. Sex on the Beach by Teaspoon was the UK #1 single. And There's Something About Mary, I certainly know about that film. And The Truman Show, I certainly know about that film, were the most watched movies during October 1998 at the cinema. And of course, the old familiar DVD format was born, and I know a lot about that. I used to have a video shop from 1995 to 2008, was it? Yeah, 2008. So I was one of the first independents in Manchester to actually stock DVDs. Cost me an absolute fortune. I got robbed about a year later of loads of them as well, but hey, there you go. Yeah, and I was sort of 3 years into the shop, and I spent about a year working there myself, so I was doing 11-hour days, 7 days a week for about a year. But obviously by this time, 3 years in, I'd sort of seen off competition nearby, and I was employing sort of part-time staff. So I was having a good time, and it gives me a bit more time to watch our beloved City as well. So that was even better. Of course, yes, going back to the football, the 98-99 season was our one and only, even though some obviously other fans say that's where we belong in the third tier of English football, was our only one season spent in our entire history at that level of football. Yeah, we'd suffered a little bit. But prior to this game, we just suffered a torrid night in East London at the New Den, not our favourite spot, is it? Let's be honest about it. We'd escaped with a draw after a last gasp equaliser by Lee Bradbury. Tony Vaughan was sent off that game along with Millwall's Neil Harris, an incident that led to a mass brawl on the pitch with the players, which even had the Millwall fans joining in. No surprise there. The game was marred, of course, by trouble throughout, which led manager Joe Rowe to make these comments after the game. I didn't know supporters were allowed to run on the pitch and threaten and spit at players, and still the crowd refereed the game very well. He went on, I am very angry at what I've seen. It was a disgrace. He also lamented that we could have won the game, but it's just as well we didn't. I doubt we'd have got out alive. Shambles, isn't it? Still not a lot better, is it now? Not particularly. Certainly wasn't much fun for the near 2,000 City fans that braved that night, and there's chaos normally ensued in this part of London. But hey, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Burnley game, the following game. It's back to the comforts of Main Road, of course. A pretty wet day, and I will back that up by my programme. I can't even open the pages. It's just all shambles. In fact, the programme after as well, I think it's the Preston game we played a few days after is just as wet. So I'm going to have to replace this at some stage. I do like to have a little read through the programme, but I can't really get it this one. It's an absolute... It must have been a wet time, so it's certainly a wet day, and this sort of programme backs that up. A crowd of 30,722 for the visit at Burnley, who themselves brought a creditable 3,285. I mean, they don't even bring that to the Etihad as I'm recording to this. They've just returned some tickets. As I say, we've got a match coming up, and I think they returned about 1,100 tickets, so there won't even be I think about 2,500, 2,000 coming, something like that. Not great, but there you go. And that was the third tier of English football, don't forget. So where are all these loyal Burnley fans gone? Hey, but never mind. After the Millwall game, pre-season title favourites, us, City, sat 7th, Burnley sat 18th. They hadn't been doing very well on their travels. They'd had 5 away games and drawn 1 and lost 4, so not in great form. So obviously 3 points in the bag for us, is it? Perhaps not. Manager Joe Royle missed this one. He was having a hip operation, leaving Willie Donachie in charge of the team. Stan Turnant was the Burnley manager. He'd taken over from Chris Waddle at the start of the season, and a gentleman called Sam Ellis was his assistant. It was, of course, at City under Peter Reid 3 or 4 years earlier. Burnley was starting their 4th season in the 3rd tier of English football, of course. That was our one and only, as I said. City starting 11 that day. Interesting. Weaver, Edgill, Tiato, Fenton, Vikings, Vaughan, Jim Whitley, Mason, Gota, Horlock and Bradbury. The subs were Jeff Whitley, his brother, Allsop, who came on in the 56th minute, and Crooks with the City subs. Interestingly enough, the average age of the City team that day was 23. I mean, Weaver was 19, Mason and Fenton just 18, although they weren't far away from the 19th birthdays as well. Burnley's team that day, not overly familiar to me, I must admit. Ward, Scott, Armstrong, Vindheim, Haywood, Reid, Little, Robertson, Cook, Payton, P. Smith, and the subs were C. Smith, who came on in the 71st minute, Carl Lawton and Maylett. The Manchester Evening News led with the headlines, City leave it late again. We had a habit of sort of winning a game or drawing a game quite late on in those early days of that 98-99 season. And so I'm going to go over now and just go over to the Manchester Evening News for their match report on what was Manchester City 2, Burnley 2. So let's go across and see what the old Manchester Evening News thought. I'm not too sure of who... Oh, Richard Burgess it is. I am sure Richard Burgess put this together. Whoever is writing Manchester City's script this season should start charging repeat fees. The familiar tale of hope, frustration and a final twist of fate is becoming so well worn it's almost predictable. City seem to be locked in a spin cycle which, however much it turns, always ends up in the same place. They have now snatched crucial late goals in 4 of their last 5 league games as they cling to the coattails of Division 2's promotion pack. But while it may be entertaining, the City soap opera is becoming more and more infuriating by the day. Joe Royle was keeping track of his side's progress from hospital as he continued his recovery from his hip replacement. At this rate, it won't be long before he needs his nerves treated as well, like the rest of us. The boss couldn't make it to Main Road, but it hardly mattered. He's seen it all before. City should have signed, sealed, delivered and pocketed the 3 points in the opening half hour as they imposed total control on the game. After Sean Gota strode on to Lee Bradbury's deft pass and fired them into an 8-minute lead, it seemed like an avalanche of goals would follow, but that's just not City's style. They are a club who have turned soccer masochism into an art form. Chance after chance went begging as Bradbury ran a mark through Burnley's flimsy defence in one of his best ever games for the Blues. Just minutes after Gota's goal, the £3 million man raced down the right and presented Richard Edgill with a perfect opportunity to double the lead, but the defender, who had earlier been treated for concussion, saw his instant shot palmed away from danger by Burnley keeper Gavin Ward. It was another attack on a day when nothing much went right for the 24-year-old. He is rapidly becoming a focus for the fans' frustration at Main Road, which boiled over in the second half after he delivered another pitiful right-wing cross. But while the supporters boo him, the management continue to back him. Willie Donachie said, I might be in the minority, but I think Richard Edgill has had a very good game. Whether you agree or not, you certainly couldn't blame him for the first stupid goal which City conceded on Saturday. That dubious honour must be to young Nick Fenton, whose under-hit back pass allowed Andy Payton to steal in ahead of Nick Weaver and level the scores after 33 minutes. It was Fenton's first costly mistake since breaking into the big time, and it was difficult not to feel sympathy with him. Not that Donachie was in any mood for charity. We cannot afford to dismiss it and say he's only a young player, said City's head coach. Nick is in the team, and so he has got to be good enough. People talk about missing chances, but to my mind, we have got to stop giving away needless goals. The second gift presented to Stan Ternant's side came 8 minutes into the second half as City continued to push forward. Paul Smith led a breakaway attack down the left and crossed for the unmarked Andy Cook to give Burnley an undeserved lead. Once again, there was a mountain to climb, and Australian Danny Allsop was brought on to help City overcome their latest self-imposed challenge. Gota, who seemed to turn from scoring champion to total chump in the space of a few minutes, was guilty of wasting another chance when Gary Mason's cross from the left got stuck under his feet as he shaped to shoot. In true dramatic style, City left it until the 85th minute before stealing an equaliser. Tony Vaughan's cross from the left was headed back into the box by standing skipper Kevin Horlock. Gota knocked the ball goalwards and Allsop applied the finishing touch from a yard out. Royal side had showed their newfound spirit and stamina again, but emerged with just a point from a game they should have won at a canter. They have now gone 6 games without a win, but at the same time have extended their unbeaten league run to 9 matches. Confused? Well, one thing is for certain, City cannot continue to tread water. They want to ensure they're placed back in Division 1 next season. Royal might be confined to his hospital bed for the next week, but you can guarantee his mobile phone will still be buzzing as he looks to strengthen his squad for the battles ahead. There's a great bunch of lads here, and I am desperate to see them do well, continued Donachie. Of course, we need to be winning at home, but if we keep our run going and don't lose until the end of the season, we'll be okay. Ironically, despite their indifferent form, the Blues are now only 6 points off Division 2's top spot, as Stoke's aura of invincibility begins to wane. As each game goes by, it is becoming increasingly clear there is nothing to fear in this division. If, heaven forbid, City don't manage to clinch promotion this season, they will have only themselves to blame, but the time has now come for them to start proving their credentials in the only currency which counts: points. There you go. Thanks to Richard Burgess of the Manchester Evening News there. Yeah, interesting. It's always interesting to look back at these match reports and how we're doing. And I say, it was an interesting season overall, wasn't it? And we just about scraped it, didn't we? The match stats that day: City had 14 shots, of which 8 were on target. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad going. Burnley had 10 shots, so all fairness to them. Probably, even though we did appear to batter them, they were fully deserving of the draw on the day. They had 10 shots with 5 on target. Of course, the scorers for City, Gota and Allsop, and for Burnley, Payton and Cook. Of course, this draw would drop us down a place to 8th position. And of course, we would actually lose our next home game, the other wet one against Preston. We'd actually lose that 1-0 as well. But as we know, it all turned out okay, including a 6-0 thrashing of Burnley at Turf Moor. Were you there that day? There you go. The following March 1999. Yeah, as for Burnley, before we finish, they did continue to struggle. They finished 15th in the league that season, 15 out of 24. An average home crowd of just over 10,000. But the following season, 99-2000, they would gain promotion. Yeah, so not a bad turnaround, really, from quite a rubbishy season, finishing second. And they would then spend a further 9 seasons in the first division then, and would actually get back to the top division through the playoffs at the end of the 2008-2009 season, which ended a 33-year lack of top division football. But there you go. Manchester City versus Burnley, 98-99 season, 3rd of October 1998. Thanks for watching this little History Boys feature. Not the greatest game, not the biggest game, but an interesting game nonetheless. As I say, there's certainly the build-up and the build-up for it with Millwall. I'm sure we'll visit that one day in the History Boys feature. We had some interesting games on and off the pitch against Millwall, haven't we? Let's be honest about it. But thanks for joining me for this History Boys feature anyway of Manchester City 2, Burnley 2 from 3rd of October 1998 in Nationwide Division 2. Thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps have a look, please. Check out my film and TV channel as well. Until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.